Trump's direction.
You know what I need. Don't hope that glitter will be in the way.
Point out that what Russia did in 2016 is still an open question, and how we prevent that in 2020 is something that we have not given satisfactory.
But we've been doing it to other countries.
Yeah,
Same thing.
Absolutely true. As we saw in the Muller indictments, and there were two indictments, one of a troll farm in St. Petersburg, and then one of two specific units of the GRU, Russian military intelligence. However they got it, and they may not be able to find that out.
What about that person? I saw about this little glare. It's because of my window.
The special prosecutor's team, the special counsel's team, had extraordinary insight into what was going on in Russia.
This about the Muller report. We'll be waiting now. What about Trump?
How they were able to try to sow division.
That's like nothing happened for real.
Social media and the information they put out trying to.
This to you, Lionel. This to you, Lionel.
I want to make one other point
about Trump. I want you to see this on YouTube. I want you to see this on YouTube.
What the Democrats on Capitol Hill are going to do.
No, let's face watcher. No, let's face watcher. I see that. I know you started right there watching. He started right there watching too. I see him too.
Who said they are going to go with a fury now, demanding.
I see that shit right. I see that shit right there watching.
A full investigation into the investigation. They are going to say no more, Mr. Nice Guy.
I just want to see that standing right there. That's not Nazi. What's his face? No one's in my face like that. I see him standing over there too.
Against the Russians, linked it to the Trump campaign.
Now I haven't seen that one in a while. Watch it. I see what's going on. Y'all want to see what's going on.
Some people, certainly Democrats, are going to say that's a distraction from what's in this report. But clearly, you're going to see some Democrats,
I'm telling you,
Trump political types, or maybe the president himself, saying that's the real scandal here. You saw that in that tweet that you put up just a moment ago, that the real scandal here.
Hey, can somebody come talk?
The Trump campaign,
not just you talking. Come right there and talk.
But what the Justice Department and Intel offices did in terms of investigating
I said that before it started.
this cloud, and there's no question there has been a cloud over this president for the 2 years of his presidency. Today, perhaps that begins to dissipate a little. I don't think all the information we're going to get today is going to be positive.
Get what we need. We just need give us what we need. Here we go. Here go, Mr. Barr.
We'll at least see what it is.
Here we go, Bill Barr, the Attorney General, Department of Justice.
Don't cover it up, bro. Don't cover it up, bro. So just what you see.
And thanks for being here this morning. As you know, on March 22nd, Special Counsel Robert Mueller concluded his investigation into matters related to Russian attempts to interfere in our 2016 presidential election. And he submitted his confidential report to me pursuant to department regulations. As I said during my Senate confirmation hearing and since, I'm committed to ensuring the greatest degree possible of transparency concerning the Special Counsel's investigation.
That's right.
Consistent with the law. At 11 this morning, I'm going to transmit copies of the public version of the Special Counsel's report to the chairman and ranking members of the Senate and House Judiciary Committees. The Department of Justice will also make the report available to the American people by posting it on the department's website after it has been delivered to Congress.
This is enough for us.
I'd like to make a few comments today on the report. Before I do that, I want to thank Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein for joining me here today.
So which one is y'all? I think it's him over there.
This process. Rod, as you know, has served at the department for nearly 30 years with dedication and distinction, and it's been a great privilege and pleasure for me to work with him since my confirmation. He had well-deserved plans to step back from public service that were interrupted by my asking him to help in my transition. Rod has been an invaluable partner, and I am grateful that he is willing to help me and has been able to see the Special Counsel's investigation through to its conclusion. Thanks, Rod. Thank you.
Yeah. I thought it was him, because I seen that finger pointed at him.
I'd also like to thank Special Counsel Robert Mueller for his service and the thoroughness of his investigation,
what he did.
particularly his work exposing the nature of Russia's attempts to interfere in our electoral process.
Come on now.
As you know, one of the primary purposes of the special counsel's investigation was to determine whether President Trump's campaign or any individual associated with it conspired or coordinated with the Russian government to interfere in the
This is what we doing now.
2016 election. Volume 1 of the special counsel's report describes the results of that investigation. As you will see, the special counsel's report states that his, quote, investigation did not establish that members of the Trump
That's what I wanna
campaign
know.
conspired or
Okay,
coordinated
no conspiracy
with the
behind
Russian
it.
government
Okay,
in its
else?
election interference
What else?
activities.
is there anything else?
I am sure that all Americans share my concern about the efforts of the Russian government to interfere in our presidential election. As the special counsel report makes clear, the Russian government sought to interfere in our election process. But thanks to the special counsel's thorough investigation, we now know that the Russian operatives who perpetrated these schemes did not have the cooperation of President Trump or the Trump campaign,
Okay,
or the knowing assistance of any other American for that matter.
okay.
That is something that all Americans can and should be grateful to have confirmed.
That's good. This is all I wanted to know.
The special counsel report outlines two main efforts by the Russian government
What else?
to influence the 2016 election. First, the report details efforts by the Internet Research Agency, a Russian company with close ties to the Russian government, to sow social discord among American voters through disinformation and social media operations. Following a thorough investigation of this disinformation campaign, the special counsel brought charges in federal court against several Russian nationals and entities for their respective roles in this scheme. Those charges remain pending, and the individual defendants remain at large. But the special counsel found no evidence that any American, including anyone associated with the Trump campaign, conspired or coordinated with the Russian government or the IRA in this illegal scheme.
Okay.
Indeed, as the report states, quote, the investigation did not identify evidence that any U.S. person knowingly or intentionally coordinated with the IRA's interference operation, unquote. Put another way, the special counsel found no collusion by any Americans in IRA's illegal activities. Second, the report details efforts by the Russian military officials associated with the GRU, the Russian Military Intelligence Organization.
Including with Special Justice.
Computers and steal documents and emails from individuals associated with the Democratic Party and Hillary Clinton's campaign for the purpose of eventually publicizing these documents. Obtaining such unauthorized...
Come on now, trying to hear.
Following a thorough investigation of these hacking operations, the special counsel brought charges recording several Russian military officers for their respective roles in these illegal hacking operations. Those charges are still pending, and the defendants remain at large. But again, the special counsel's report did not find any evidence that members of the Trump campaign or anyone associated with the campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government in these hacking operations. In other words, there is no evidence of the Trump campaign collusion with the Russian government.
No collusion, but what about obstruction of justice?
The special counsel's investigation also examined Russian efforts to publish stolen emails and documents on the internet. The special counsel found that after the GRU disseminated some of the stolen documents to entities that it controlled, DC Leaks and Guccifer 2, the GRU transferred some of the stolen materials to WikiLeaks for publication. WikiLeaks then made a series of documents.
I'm not going to call
it. The special counsel also investigated whether any member or affiliate of the Trump campaign encouraged or otherwise played a role in these dissemination efforts. Under applicable law, publication of these types of material would not be criminal unless the publisher also participated in the underlying hacking conspiracy. Here, too, the special counsel's report did not find that any person associated with the Trump campaign illegally participated in the dissemination of the materials.
Okay.
Finally, the special counsel investigated a number of links or contacts between the Trump
What about
campaign
judges and
officials
justices?
and individuals connected with the Russian government during the 2016 presidential campaign. After reviewing these contacts, the special counsel did not find any conspiracy to violate U.S. law involving Russian-linked persons and any persons
They
associated
on
with the Trump
conclusion right now.
campaign.
Conspire.
So that's the bottom line.
Okay.
After nearly 2 years of investigation, thousands of subpoenas, hundreds of warrants, and witness interviews, the special counsel confirmed that the Russian government sponsored efforts to illegally interfere with the 2016 presidential election, but did not find that the Trump campaign or other Americans colluded in those efforts.
Okay, but what's the justice?
After finding no underlying collusion with Russia, the special counsel's report goes on to consider whether certain actions of the president could amount to obstruction of the special counsel's investigation.
He talked about James Comey.
As I addressed in my March 24th letter, the
That's
special
funny.
counsel did not make a traditional prosecutorial judgment regarding this allegation. Instead, the report recounts 10 episodes involving the president and discusses potential legal theories for connecting those activities to the elements of an obstruction offense. After carefully reviewing the facts and legal theories outlined in the report, and in consultation with the Office of Legal Counsel and other department lawyers, the Deputy Attorney General and I concluded that the evidence developed by the special counsel is not sufficient to establish that the president committed an obstruction of justice.
Oh, he did
offense.
instruct the judge. Okay, that's
Although
well. I
the
didn't
Deputy
know.
Attorney General and I disagreed with some of the special counsel's legal theories and felt that some of the episodes examined did not amount to obstruction as a matter of law.
He made him out to be a bad guy.
We did not rely
The Democrat
solely
did.
on that in making our decision. Instead, we
And this-
accepted the
this is
special counsel's
live
legal framework for purposes of our
Press
analysis
conference.
and evaluated the evidence as presented by the special counsel in reaching our conclusions. In assessing the president's actions discussed in the report, it is important to bear in mind the context. President Trump faced an unprecedented situation. As he entered into office and sought to perform his responsibilities as president, federal agents and prosecutors were scrutinizing his
And no grounds for
conduct
impeachment.
before
No
and
grounds for
after taking
impeachment.
office, and the conduct of some of his associates. At the same time, there was relentless speculation in the news media about the president's personal culpability. Yet, as he said from the beginning, there was in fact no collusion.
He said
And
that.
as the special counsel's report acknowledges, there is substantial evidence to show that the president was frustrated and angered by his sincere
Good Twitter.
belief that the investigation was undermining his presidency, propelled by his political opponents, and fueled by illegal leaks. Nonetheless, the White House fully cooperated with the special counsel's investigation, providing unfettered access to campaign and White House documents, directing senior aides to testify freely, and asserting no privilege claims. And at the same time, the president took no act that in fact deprived the special
I'll put this
counsel
on YouTube.
of the documents and witnesses necessary to complete his investigation. Apart from whether the acts were obstructive,
Okay,
this
let's go down.
evidence of
You'll see it on there.
non-corrupt motives weighs heavily against any allegation that the president had a corrupt intent to obstruct the investigation. Now, before I take questions, I want to address a few aspects of the process for producing the public report that I am releasing today.
The Democrat
As I
liars.
said
The
several
Democrat
times,
liars.
the
That's
report
why I thought
contains
about
limited
my thing.
redactions related to
No,
four
Lionel was talking about this
categories of
too. Said
information.
this.
To ensure
you, Lionel.
as much transparency as possible, those redactions have been clearly labeled so that the readers can tell which redactions correspond to which categories. Now, as to recall, those categories are 6E material, grand jury material, information that the IC believes would disclose sources
I don't
and
know how to do live
methods,
video on YouTube.
information that would impair the investigation and prosecution of other cases that are underway, and finally, information that implicates the privacy and reputational interests of peripheral third parties. As you will see, most of the redactions were compelled by the need to prevent harm to ongoing matters and to comply with court orders prohibiting the public disclosure of information bearing on ongoing investigations and criminal cases, such as the IRA case and the Roger Stone case. These redactions were applied by Department of Justice attorneys working closely together with attorneys from the Special Counsel's office, as well as the intelligence community, and prosecutors are handling the ongoing cases. The redactions are their work product. No redactions done by anybody outside this group. There were no redactions done by anybody outside this group. No one outside this group proposed any redactions, and no one outside the department has seen the report, with the exception of certain
that was kind of bold they did to him. The
sections
Democrats, the media and the Democrats did to him.
intelligence community for their advice on protecting intelligence sources and methods.
Yeah, that was bold. The Democrats, y'all evil for that, doing him like that. I'm not a big supporter because that's still bold.
Rested with the President of the United States.
And it's right here on live.
The House had voluntarily cooperated with the special counsel. Significant portions of the report contain material over which the President could have asserted privilege, and he would have been well within his rights to do so. Following my March 29th letter, the Office of the White House Counsel requested the opportunity to review the redacted version of the report in order to advise the President on the potential invocation of privilege, which is consistent with long-standing practice. Following that review, the President confirmed that in the interest of transparency and full disclosure to the American people, he would not assert privilege over the special counsel's report. Accordingly, the public report I am releasing today contains redactions only for the 4 categories that I previously outlined, and no material has been redacted based on executive privilege. In addition,
I know this is a long video.
The President's personal counsel requested and was given the opportunity to read a final version of the redacted report before it was publicly released. That request was consistent with the practice followed under the Ethics in Government Act, which permitted individuals named in a report prepared by an independent counsel the opportunity to read the report before publication. The President's personal lawyers were not permitted to make and did not request any redactions.
It's on top of my TV.
In addition to making the redacted report public, we are also working with Congress to accommodate their legitimate oversight interests with respect to the special counsel's investigation. We have been consulting with Chairman Graham and Chairman Nadler through this process, and we will continue to do so. Given the limited nature of the redactions, I believe that the publicly released report will allow every American to understand the results of the special counsel's investigation. Nevertheless, in an effort to...
I bet you're going to be a lot of Democrats going to be straight up crying on YouTube and Facebook. It is what it is. I ain't mad. I know he's that wise. He cleared. Come to the colluding instruction judgment, but he got hijacking still in there. That's not. That's still pending. He said.
Congress will be able to see all of the redacted material for themselves, with a limited exception of that which by law cannot be shared. I believe that this accommodation, together with my upcoming testimony before the Senate and House Judiciary Committees, will satisfy any need Congress has for information regarding the special counsel's investigation. Once again, I'd like to thank you for being here, and I will now have a few questions.
Mr. Attorney General, we don't have the report in hand, so could you explain for us the special counsel's articulated reason for not reaching a decision on obstruction of justice, and if it had
anything to 20 minutes now. Stop.
The department's long-standing guidance on not indicting a sitting president, and you say you disagree with some of his legal theories. What did you disagree with him on?
Good question.
I'd leave it to his description in the report, the special counsel's own articulation of why he did not want to make a
I know that I got a lot of glare.
whether